Well, welcome back to this Freedom Day edition of Love PSL. If you're only just joining us, let me fill you in on the wisdom and insights that you've missed out on. We started off by speaking to some football journalists, and they told us about their experiences when reporting on the beautiful game back in the day, the many challenges that they faced, be it black or white, and today, the freedom that they enjoy. Then the broadcasters had their say on the evolution of sports broadcasting and football in particular, which has gone in leaps and bounds during this post-democratic period. Well, on to our final insert for today. Now, we hear from players and administrators, and they give us their experiences and tell us what it was like for them compared to the footballing landscape today. Let's hear more.
The South African footballing arena has evolved. During this April period, we asked some past and present players and administrators to talk us through what Freedom Day means to them. We also explore the positive changes that have occurred in the game.
Football was as divided as the government wanted it. The government wanted the colours to play as colours. They wanted Indians to play as colours, as Indians, and they wanted the blacks to be separate from the rest of the other groups. But it went a little further. It divided even the blacks into the Bantu football associations and the African football associations. And the Bantus were the conformists, people who readily conformed to the dictates of the government at the time.
It was difficult. Obviously, they had different federations, and myself coming over from then the so-called coloured federation going to a white one, was pretty much frowned upon as to where you were living, because people didn't accept that in those days. But I think obviously a year or so later it sort of all changed for the good. But it was difficult times, and you almost had to keep it under wraps, not letting people know that you've actually crossed the border in some sense.
My father was a soccer player, and he told us that it wasn't easy during their times. So here we are, we have the opportunity, since we have the freedom that they never had in the past, that we should grab the opportunity with both hands, and we should be happy that we're living the lives we are living now, because they never had the same privilege in the past. So for us to be able to give our best in what we do is through the support that we get from our parents, and churches, they've also played a role in teaching us about what they've been experiencing in the past.
I think apartheid was fought on many fronts, and football as well, because I think football was responsible for the suspension of South Africa in the ranks, from the ranks of FIFA, and that in itself helped the situation to a very large extent. And of course there were people who were neither sportsmen, but who fought for the changes that happened in football, in cricket, and in various other sports.
The release coincided with us being readmitted to FIFA and being part of international stage. And I think for me personally, and a lot of footballers prior to apartheid era, was getting opportunities abroad, and the doors opened for us. And I think obviously we're always grateful for that, and we keep thinking back about that, and you almost sense to forget the thing that what opened the door for you was the release of Nelson Mandela.
The game has developed tremendously from what it was 10 years ago, or even many more years ago, to what it is today. It's a different game altogether. Some of the old players, if they were to relive their times, I don't think some of them would fit into. The pace is high, and there are many things that they would need to learn anew. many people may not be aware of the impact that football made on the changes that we have politically. But I can tell you that the football has contributed immensely to the democracy that we have today, because it was partly a way of resisting the government.
South Africa was banned from playing international, so football was more like we were playing for fun. That's why we used to entertain fans, but now football is business. It's not more about having fun on the pitch, but it's about delivering as well.
Growing up and what you had to encounter and not being able to go in certain areas and things like that, and suddenly you're able to do those things and living where you want to be. And I think those are all things that we actually take for granted very easily. But it's only when you've been part of that struggle during that era that you actually realize, because coming from nothing and having something, you do appreciate it a lot more. And it's not just another holiday, it's something you've got to cherish for the rest of your life.
We're more free, you know, in a sense of you can go to any place at any time, whenever you want. You know, you are not restricted, and whenever you walk in the streets, you are not stopped by the police to say where's your ID. You are stopped by the police to see if you're safe or not. In the past, our parents never lived the lives that we're living now, so we have to appreciate the fact that they fought for our freedom, and now that's why we need to respect them and give back to them.
I think being part of 96 was a great time. It was a squad that obviously was together for quite a couple of years, and we became a family, and Clive was the father figure, the mentor of that particular squad. And it's sad in a way where obviously that's the last time we had success as a national team, but unfortunately that's the only time that people will remember. And I think the sooner we start getting that sort of success back as a national team, the better it will be for the country. But I think those early days, it was almost the script was written. Being readmitted, hosting the Nations Cup in 96, playing at home in front of your own crowd in the final FNB. We had to win it, simple as that.
The Bantu Football Association, which was, as I have always said, largely a body of conformists, ended up in breaking up. And only those who were resisting the dictates of government politically continue to live. And this is the legacy that they have passed on. And for that reason, I think we need to continue to celebrate Freedom Day.
Wow, it's been such an insightful show. Let's hope that come Freedom Day this year, you'll remember the struggles of the people in the past, just ensuring that we enjoy the freedoms that we do today. That being said, it is the end of Love PSL, but of course the conversation continues. Just drop us an email, send it to lovepsl@supersport.com. You can also follow us on Twitter @lovepsl, or follow yours truly @simplycarol8. Don't forget to check out our Facebook page, like us, and you can see all of the wonderful pictures of what it is that we're up to as we get ready for another fabulous show. Well, until the next time, for now, it's au revoir.
Yeah, yeah. One love. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give it to you raw. Yeah, 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 yeah.